Yo,
Yo, what's good?
shit, nothing much. Chilling, man. What's good with you, man?
Shit, chilling, man. Go ahead, change the banner.
Yeah, man. So, tell the people what is your motherfucking challenge with the service in the military?
First, there was an acclimation period. Changing over from the regular life or irregular life of being black in the civilian world to being black in the military, to where you have a lot of pressure right away, and where you have a lot of responsibility and accountability right away. What helped me out is I had a father, so I had already had that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what helped me out. So, and boot camp wasn't as hard for me as it was other guys. It just wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But what you notice right away in boot camp is you you get treated differently if you black. Not just if you black. If you're a certain type of black man, you get treated differently.
That's true.
If you are, hold on, is my computer down? Cause I could barely hear you.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you the other, but it's not like it normally be. It's not loud and clear like it normally be. But
You hear me now?
yeah, it sounds better now. What you do?
Okay, I have my mic off. That's why.
Okay.
All right, my mic's
Yeah,
back on.
it sound way better now.
But okay, good. Yeah, my mic's back on.
And
So
that's how
yeah,
you know
man.
that's how you know the mic really do it. It really, you might not tell it what it's doing, but it's doing something.
Yeah,
Cause I
it
can
is.
tell,
It
man.
does
Like,
make a difference.
it was a difference.
I'm glad you noticed the difference. Yeah, I had it off, so I have it on right now. So I guess I was just based on the computer. But yeah, I mean, the challenges I've noticed when I was in the service, I've always been just a strong-willed individual, man, strong-minded individual. But when I was young like that, man, I was a fool. A version of me in my 19, 20, 18 years old, man, I was just a fool, man. I remember that version of me. But the challenges that I could say that I experienced was managing peers and leaders, man. Because guys like us are put in positions where we're always like natural born leaders, and people gravitate towards us. And with that responsibility comes, sergeants, drill sergeants, and all these people putting unnecessary responsibilities on you that you think is unnecessary at the time, but it's really necessary in the sense of what God is trying to use to build you up as an individual for later on challenges you're going to deal with later on in your life. But in that
Right.
moment, you're like, man, I'm not trying to deal with that shit. I'm just trying to get through. So I would say managing peers and leaders, relationship conflicts. You always got to deal with a motherfucker that because you are a certain way, you wired a certain way in the service. And that's when you start dealing with different personalities, different people from different states, different people from different lingos, different people from different ways of thinking and stuff like that. And sometimes those types of people, they're not used to maybe your way of thinking, your lingo, how you react, how you talk, and then they're annoyed by that. Oh, you from this? And then that's when I started noticing those social norms too that was happening. Oh, you from that state? Man, that state is whack. I used to get that shit all the fucking time from people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck you know my state is whack? I'm like, I always ask them, have you ever been there? Oh, I never been there. So how do you know it's whack? You going off of what people tell you? So I used to deal with that kind of shit too. And then you're dealing with people that's young, so the mindset is not fully evolved from a maturity standpoint. So that just creates another conflict in itself. Then you deal with family separation. If you were close to your family, you're close to your mom, or even if you had a great relationship with your dad or you had a great relationship with your siblings, just the fact that you're in the service and you're no longer around them anymore, they feel in some type of way because they don't have access to you. And early on when you're in boot camp and you're in all these things, you really got to lock in. There's no time to be dealing with people and shit like that because they always got your ass running, but they got you doing some kind of military activity. This shit roll.
Always you're always doing something.
Always doing something. And then there's the element of loss of income, financial worries. In the beginning, that happens because it takes a little time before you start getting that first check. That first check don't just boom come out the gate like that, because they got to get your bank information, they got to get all that stuff situated, and your paperwork and everything has to get processed. Yeah, a lot of times people get that shit in MEPS, right? I don't know what they call it nowadays, but back in the days they used to call that shit MEPS, where you had to go through MEPS and then you process everything right then and there. A lot of people get their information processed immediately through MEPS, but a lot of people don't. They lose shit. And if in the service, shit get lost in the sauce. Then now you have to deal with a whole different group of people in the finance department that have to get all your information. So you want a period of time where you going through some financial woes or financial troubles because they don't have your bank information or whatever, and you moving around, especially basic training in these places. You're not at your duty station yet. So you got to deal with that kind of stuff if you didn't have your ducks in a row. And you're dealing with young people, unfortunately, people that are like 18, 19, 20 years old. A lot of them don't understand the whole bank account stuff and all of that. They just understand making money off the rip, like you paying them money right then and there. You'd be surprised how many people they didn't even have bank accounts. They don't even understand all that stuff. So they had to learn that while they was in the service. And then there's other stuff, like missing family milestones. You miss a lot of shit that's going on with your family outside while you're in the service. Your sister having a baby, your mom had, relatives or someone that passed away, and then they all hold you accountable for stuff like this because they're wondering in their minds, like, how come you can't take time off? So you want me to take time off? Like, I ain't even got leave yet. You want me to
Right.
just separate myself because what? I need to show up to your family functioning or whatever? No, it don't work like that. They don't understand that and they don't respect that.
Yeah, but it's the reason why you're in the service and they're not. Everyone can't go through this. Everyone can't even qualify for the service.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone get through boot camp.
Yep.
Let alone complete. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A lot of people don't even get through their first tour in the Navy or in the
Yep.
Army or whatever the fuck you was at. Because it takes a certain type of individual to do these things.
Yep.
Most people will fuck up their future just because they miss home.
Mm-hmm.
I have people leave the military because their girlfriend didn't want them there anymore.
Yep.
Then he was in a situation where their girlfriend kicked them out because they couldn't find a job right away.
Yep.
I could never fall in those pitfalls because I had a father, I had a grandfather, I had uncles, I had men in my life that always told me never depend on a woman.
Facts.
Never. They're too
Mm-hmm.
inconsistent. Even if she could love you to death, she's not consistent with herself.
Yep.
Women ain't consistent with themselves. They can't be consistent with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they want that. They want you to be the same all the time because they always change.
Yep.
And I always tell them, man, be what you need to be every day. Don't be
Yep.
the same for nobody. Be what you it be morally and principle be the same. But if you need to adapt and treat people different, depending on how they act, then do so.
Yep.
Because they want black men to be robots. Don't feel nothing until they say it's time for you to feel. Don't say nothing unless it's approved by white folks and black women.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, can't feel nothing unless they say feel it. Can't say nothing unless they say it. Can't do nothing unless they say do it.
Facts.
I tell all black men, man, don't try to hurt nobody. Live peaceful with everybody, but live life how you see fit.
Exactly.
Because everyone is trying to control us, man. Particularly us, because they don't want us to lead. They want us to do anything but lead.
Yep.
And it's like that in the military too. The only black men who they really want to lead are black men who went off and got college educated, so they've been broken by the system, right? In college, they teach you how to live in the box that they want you to be in.
Yep.
That's why I get from college people that's educated. They're not necessarily smart. They just live according to how society says you're supposed to live.
Exactly.
Make sure you get the house, the car, and the wife. It doesn't matter if you love your wife. It doesn't matter if you love your house. It doesn't matter if you love your car. No matter if you're miserable, you need all these things to be a fully functioning human being.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you're about to get divorced, foreclosure in the house. You never liked. You drive a car you never wanted. You live in miserable, trying to live according to these standards that are, quite frankly, aren't for everybody.
That's true.
The black man they don't want leading is like me, the guy that holds everybody to the same standard,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy that's not trying to shit on my own people to get an extra bump, an extra notch on my belt or the next rank.
Facts.
I'm the guy that they never wanted to lead. They never wanted me to retire. I was not supposed to make it this far, but they couldn't. But the pressure they thought they were applying, it wasn't strong enough for somebody like me. So I had to deal with it. But they never wanted that
And that's the
because
thing with the
through,
service.
because through me, there's been so many people under my influence
Mm-hmm.
that have got my mindset that they're now flourishing, and now they got to deal with hundreds of people who I've talked to and I've dealt with. So they wanted to get me out before I could get to the leadership. I had
Mm-hmm.
people actually tell me, "I'm gonna make sure you don't make the next rank." Actually, tell me that.
Hmm.
It's a mindset that they're afraid of. They're afraid of the black man that leads. They're not
Yep.
afraid of the black boss. Bosses tell people to do shit that they don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
Bosses tell people to do shit that the other boss above him say. There's no pushback. It's all pushed down. They don't like the black leader. Anybody could be a black boss.
Yep.
Like when them niggas say they bosses, they ain't doing shit but pushing down if something the white man told them to do on black people.
Yep.
That's not leadership. That's just direct. That's just telling people what to do. Bosses actually lead, show you by example. This is what shit need to be done. This is what I expect from you because I've done it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You went through the ranks of it. And these are the other things too that you deal with challenges. You separated from social supports, you know what I'm saying? Like, because in the service, you're pretty much outside of the people that you ultimately galvanize and y'all develop a camaraderie, y'all become battle buddies and things of that nature. That takes time because personalities have to intermingle, trust have to be developed, and relationships have to be basically conjoined together before something like that can actually take place. But before all that happens, you by yourself, man, and you got to deal with that. And you don't have somebody that at that moment, because you just got to the service, therapy, being therapized. Come on, man. Especially at the time we was in the service, we went in, that was frowned upon. That was considered weak. Like, get your ass over here, soldier, and do what you're supposed to.
But
You also deal with little to no privacy, no private time, because you're in fucking bunks. You're on a ship. You're right next to each other, man. You right on top of each other, man. Shit. When I was in the service, I remember, man, those quick fucking showers, man. Motherfuckers right next to you, right then and there, and they were right next to you, right to your left, right to your right, right behind you. That was a shell shock for me to go from showering by myself to then I gotta step into a shower with all these motherfuckers. What the fuck?
right,
And then you don't know if a motherfucker's a certain way. Even at that time, that shit was frowned upon. So you sitting there, you looking straight. You ain't trying to look to no left, look to no right. I remember that was my mentality. I ain't looking to the left, looking to the right. And if you in your peripheral, you see a motherfucker looking at you, you telling the motherfucker why you looking straight. That shit was funny as fuck. The fuck you looking at, man?
right,
What the fuck you looking at, man? What you the
right,
fuck? I remember I say that shit all the time. What the fuck? What the fuck's wrong with you, man? You got a staring problem? I used to tell them
right.
shit like that. And then I used to go to my drill sergeants, my I used to go to my senior drill sergeants and tell them, hey, I don't feel comfortable in these fucking showers. Man, I raised such a fucking stink that I did this little slick shit. This shit was funny as fuck. They used to smoke me, but I ain't give a fuck. I used to force the drill sergeant or the senior drill sergeants to smoke me. And then after they smoked me, Ross, then I would turn around and yeah, they would smoke me, right? Then after they smoked me, I knew the timing. I timed it perfectly. It was right when everybody was about to get their showers. I would purposely do some dumb shit so they smoke me. They're like, okay, now hit the showers, so I can hit that shit individually by myself. I just didn't feel
Right.
comfortable being around all these motherfuckers, so I always did that. And then eventually they peeped game on what I did, but they just let it slide because they was like, okay, we understand you don't want to deal with that. We get you. You don't want to deal with that whole nuance. So they got it. And they just let me be after a while. But it took a while before I got to that place for them to leave me be when it came to that situation. Other than that, man, I tell you, I didn't like that shit. That shit was uncomfortable as fuck. That was probably the most uncomfortable shit I had to deal
Man, you'd have been mad if you was in boot camp.
with.
If you, if you was in the Navy, if you'd have did that shit, you'd have with the shower, you'd have with the sleep with no shower. You had a shower with everybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
We had this one Puerto Rican dude. You know how people get kicked out of one division had to come to yours and shit to get
Mm-hmm.
set back. He got set back and shit, and I guess he wasn't comfortable showering with other men and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, buddy, he just wasn't showering, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he waited all the way to the end of shit. You know, they called because we did it by compartments. One half of the port side go first because right hand is port side, left hand is starboard side.
Yeah.
Port side go first, or whoever won whatever competition go first because you compete. The other, so his side went first. He still ain't going shit. Our side went first. He still ain't go. But motherfuckers had peeped that he ain't go. And then you know what I'm saying? The motherfucker was like, motherfucker was like, hey, such what there's the artist, he was like, hey, why such ain't go to the shower? And then the recruit the guy that's like in charge of everybody, but that's a recruit like you.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he don't want to shower with men. Then he's like, okay, four count jumping jacks get there. Bodybuilders get there. We had to do all that shit. We had to get sweaty all over again. Then he made
Mm-hmm.
everybody go to the shower again. And
Yeah.
just how Buddy had to go. They made him go first. So everybody was showering, getting ready for bed. They beat
Damn.
everybody. We don't call it smoke. We call it getting beat. They
Yeah.
beat everybody again for 2 hours. Push ups, sit ups, jumping jacks and shit. And then they made us go to the shower again. This time, dude he had to lead the line.
Yeah.
And it was funny because Buddy went there with his drawers on.
That's funny as hell. I timed that shit, man. I used to always before they caught on. I was finessing these drill sergeants and senior drill sergeant. I would always say something so damn near egregious, man. Something so disrespectful to them, and they would have to smoke me right then. That smoke session would last a long time and I wanted that shit to last a long time because I knew they were like, "Hey, hit the showers," and then I look at the drill sergeant or senior drill sergeant, man, I was fucking your wife last night. I said some shit like that. You know me. You know I'm liable to say some shit. And then hey, get front lead rest position, move. I'm doing fucking push-ups till I can't do push-ups no more. I didn't give a fuck if I couldn't do push-ups no more. I wasn't gonna hit them showers with everybody else. It took them about a good 3 weeks before they caught on to what I was doing. They're like, "Oh, you doing this shit because you don't want to hit the showers." So sometimes I did have to hit the showers with everybody. I'm not gonna sit here and act like that was an every recurrence thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I
they
know you.
peep
I know you
and they
did.
threw my ass up in that shit. I
Oh
got
yeah,
used to it in AIT, which was in our version, advanced individual training. That's when you go into your specialized military occupation and you learn your occupational skill or whatever.
yeah.
So
We
I
call that A school.
A school, okay. I'm glad you preferenced the name of what y'all call it over in the Navy because I didn't even know the name y'all gave it. But I got comfortable at that moment that okay, this is a normal shit. I just gotta. It's something I don't fucking like, but I just gotta deal with it. So I acquiesced to it. I was never comfortable with it, but I acquiesced to it in AIT. But in basic training, man, you couldn't get me to do that shit for the life of me, man. I was doing any and everything to put myself in a position where you wasn't gonna get me to do it. That shit wasn't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um,
the other challenges that I would say that we deal in the military is too is perceived lack of support of war efforts or military from general public. You know, you had a lot of motherfuckers um in the service in the military, they would deal with, how should I say it, man? A lot of bullshit from the public, man. You have a lot of people, they don't understand what you're going through. They're not in the service, they are civilians, and they talking like they part of this shit. And you sitting there
no,
scratching your head like, what the fuck are you talking about?
really, they be jealous,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I had to come to the conclusion of a lot of times when people see military personnel, it makes them feel inferior and it makes them feel lackluster. So they say shit like, "Oh, if you're a real black man, you want to be in the military." But this same person salutes black men who kill each other
Exactly.
in the streets.
Yep.
So you can tell they have no integrity, they have no moral code. They just trying to bring you down a notch because they feel down a notch.
Yep.
But if they had good self esteem, they wouldn't feel nothing. If you don't feel pride, you wouldn't feel nothing when you see a black man in uniform. If you had good self
Mm-hmm.
esteem, it don't got nothing to do with you. You wouldn't feel inferior. You feel inferior because your self image is fucked up.
Yep.
You feel only way you could get your the way you want, the only way you get any power back, you got to bring down another black man. I said, oh, you fighting for a country that did this to your people. Same niggas fight for gangs that do shit to their people in the community
Facts.
for no money.
Yep.
You kill your own people. At least I can say any people I had a hand in getting killed or whatever, they were on somebody else's soil,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not my people.
Yep.
Y'all niggas kill your own people in y'all community and got the nerve to look down at niggas that went to the military. How fucking
Exactly.
stupid can you get?
I never could understand that bullshit, man. And that's the and see, not only do you deal with those challenges personally as a soldier,
All street niggas ain't like that. It's the weak niggas and it's the weak men who probably work at probably McDonald's or some shit. We got a
facts,
problem with what you doing. Man,
facts.
worry about getting a real career, motherfucker.
Exactly. And because the strong-minded ones and the ones that said that say to themselves, man, I wish I would have took that career path, they give you credit. They're like, man, you doing a great thing, man. You know, you was able to get yourself out of the environment, get yourself out of the hood. And you know, I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you. They will tell you that. You know, I'm proud that you are in the position that you're in. You know, if the shoe could be on the other foot, I wish I could be in that position too. So you do have motherfuckers that's like that, and you got to give these type of motherfuckers credit too, because when they tell you that, they don't even realize it's a mutual motivation on both sides, because they're being motivated by you, but it's a good boost for you to know that you're in the right position and you're doing what you're supposed to, and it builds you up and builds your morale up even further.
Exactly. I just had to come. The hardest thing I ever had to deal with in the military, believe it or not, it wasn't racism. Why? Because I was raised to expect that, and I was raised to identify all the types.
Mm-hmm.
Most black people are oblivious, are stupid as fuck to racism. They don't know what it really is. They think it's people being rude to them. Racism is people holding you back, secretly working against you, and working for their own people. They could be someone could be very nice to you and still be racist.
Mm-hmm.
This is what black people don't understand. The hardest thing I had to do in the Navy was lead black people. The hardest thing I ever had to do was lead black people,
Yep.
particularly black young men and black women. They didn't have the fathers in their life. So all they did, whether you right or wrong or different, was fight against black leadership.
Mm-hmm.
A white dude come right in and tell them to do the same thing you said, and they'll just do it.
Yep.
That's the hardest thing I had to deal with. You going to bat for them, they're making your job worse and
Mm-hmm.
unappreciative, disloyal.
Yep.
Hardest thing I ever had to do by far. And I done been through a lot of shit in the military. So when I'm saying this is the hardest thing I had to do, that goes to show you how much pain it caused me.
Yep.
Because I'm still loyal to them. I'm
Yep.
not the average black man that, oh, you did me wrong, so fuck you, fuck all black people. I'm finna get a white wife and shit on black people. No, I'm still 10 toes down, and I have to deal with your shit because you wasn't raised by no man, and you was raised by a bitter mother, and unbalanced and shit. So I gotta deal with your shit
Yep.
and know that 15 years from now you're gonna be thinking differently, and I'm never gonna get the just due of that, but not to fuck up your career right now because you're too dumb to understand that you worship the people who don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. And I love when I get paid. But anyways, I love when I get paid. But anyways, um, the other challenges that you deal with in the service is, you know, when you got to get deployed. It's family members, man. And I dealt with this shit when I was, deployed out into the Middle East, and it's the challenges of the range of feelings and experiences. They get concerned, they get worried, they panic, they suffer loneliness and sadness. And then it becomes this added family duties and responsibilities. um Learning new skills, making new friends, fear, for the service members safety. They wondering if you're gonna come back, is you gonna make it out of this damn deployment, are you gonna make it out alive? People start thinking about shit like that, and then they put that on you, them feeling overwhelmed. And then the financial aspect of, well, shit, if this motherfucker is not gonna make it back, um how about they, and they got the nerve to do this shit. How about they, send me something, and it's kind of like a way for them to think in their mind, if you send me something financially, at least you could ease the burden or ease the pain of what I'm going through. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, these motherfuckers, you the one directly going through the shit.
I
They're
never
not
got into
directly going through the shit.
I never got into that just sending people money, sending money home to people, man. Because why know I never got into that?
Mm,
If I didn't feel like I should do this, I never got into that because I'm on my own.
yep,
No one's helping me. I can't ask you guys for nothing. I
yep,
never could ask you for nothing.
yep,
It was always an inconvenience when I asked y'all for anything.
yep,
I can't do that. That's too much. Do you think money grows on trees? Like, no, man. I'm saying the same thing now. That's too much. Do you think money grows on trees?
yep,
Because yeah, I'm working for my money. I can't just send you money.
yep,
Because therefore, people never get off the fucking dime and never learn how to maneuver for themselves.
exactly.
I only did this shit when it was little kids. My cousin them, I need a pair of glasses, or I want to bless one of them with some shoes. They've been doing me shit.
Hmm.
I said I want to do. People expect me to send them money every month. I was like, man, I'm not sending you no fucking money, man. It got to the point they knew not to ask me.
Yep,
Don't ask me for no money. I don't make money like that.
yep,
Truth be told, people in the military don't make money like that to be sending money home. Unless you live
hmm,
in a third world country
yep,
and $50 is really 500.
yep,
Other than that, if you in America like me, I can't send you no fucking money, man.
yep. You
You
gotta
know
go
what I'm
out there and
saying?
make do with yourself. And I'm just speaking in general sense because I was of the same mindset too. That, hey man, I got to take care of myself. And that's the thing with the service. That is a beautiful thing. It causes you to have a self independence, man, and a freedom for you to be able to take care of
Salute Jordan
yourself.
Six Bishop.
Salute to Jordan 6 times Bishop. I agree. I'm 19. I've been thinking about joining the special forces, but that's a hard road. What's your opinion? Let me read your other comments before we answer that. And see, y'all donate to motivate. We're gonna read y'all comments, man. He said, "What's the biggest surprise in the army? Should black men join the special forces?" All right, we're gonna tackle the first one. What do we think that you should join the special forces? Is a hard role. What we think,
Man, go
it's
try to
your
get into
decision, man.
the Air Force, man.
Hmm.
Try to get into the Air Force because just why I say the Air Force, man. You're gonna live better. You're gonna get the same rules and you're gonna get the same type of discipline. Not probably as strenuous as the Army and the Navy, but you're gonna live better. They're gonna treat you better. There's more opportunities, and if you get into the aviation field, like you're going to be in the aviation, but if you get to the technical aviation field, working on airplanes and such like that, you could then leave that and go work. No college degree, no nothing. Go work for Boeing.
Yep.
Go work for Boeing, man.
Yep.
Making $80,000 to $100,000 a year doing shit that the Navy done taught you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Rip B.
glad.
Brazy,
I'm glad
salute.
Ross said that. A salute to Rip B. Brazy. Rip B. Brazy said I was in ROTC in high school all 4 years, and when it comes to trying to help my black people in class, it was the most difficult task. It always is the most difficult task because they
Hard,
ask
bro.
so much from you, man. They burden you with so much shit. And that's the challenge part of it, and that's the interesting element of it. I'm gonna say this much, man. And I'm gonna go to this. I see those other comments, Ross, but I just want to go to it with Jordan 6 times Bishop, because I want to give my take on it. With your response when you said I agree, I'm 19. I've been thinking about joining the special forces, but that's a hard role. What y'all think? Ross gave you his take. I'm gonna give you mine. The Air Force is a great option. It's the best of all of them, and because it's the easiest to deal with and manage. You being a black male, I'm assuming that's what you are. It's the easiest for you to deal with and manage, and plus y'all get to have the most freedom, man. And plus the Air Force got the baddest chicks, and on top of that, it got the best opportunities. And here's the caveat: after you pass all your youth as 19 and you don't went through all your fun and everything, like he said, there's the technical aviation side, and then there's also the aviation side. If you want to become a pilot, you know what I'm saying? That's a great profession to go into outside of the service. And you get that element of it if that's what you're looking for. If that's something that you're interested into, you get all your flight hours, you get all of that without even having to go through flight school and all this other
We, we,
shit. You
we
can
we got
transfer.
somebody running wild in the comment
Okay.
section, not bringing nothing to the equation.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, it says
okay,
I'm I'm a homosexual Habisha and I hate black men, some shit like that.
okay, you could tell. You look at that one, you could tell this one.
Yeah.
You can tell they're probably getting butt bootied up by some of these weirdos. But anyways, going back to what he was talking about. Let me get out off this person's nonsense. This is the thing. Me and Ross, this is what we got to deal with. We got to deal with these adverse types of individuals, man. It's either you support us or you're going to be adverse against us.
And
We don't get no in
notice
between.
the people that's anti-black male
Yep.
and pro-white supremacy,
Yep. And look what they look like.
homosexual,
Look what they look
homosexual.
like. They don't even know what they are. They questioning them damn selves. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, okay, Jordan 6 time Bishop said I'm black and Native American. Okay, so that's a double that you're dealing with a double crush there with that. But
Right.
yeah, going back to what I was saying with you dealing with you being in the Air Force, he talked about the technical aviation, there's the aviation side of it. So you got basically two advices that we gave you on that. Now let's touch on your other question that you asked. You said, should black men join the special forces? What's your take on it, Ross?
I don't know anything about the special forces. If that's what you want to do it. Are you talking about should they join the military? Period. Yes. If you ain't got nothing else better than going, if you don't got a full ride to college, yeah. What the hell are you gonna do? Sit on your mama couch and shit? Live at home with your mom when you're 19, 20 years old? If you ain't got nothing better with doing going with your life, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Go to 4 years, do college, or go to 4 years because you did 4 years. Now you can go to college and get the fuck out.
Yeah. My
But
take
yeah,
on it is I don't think you should join the special forces. I was around a lot of people that were into it, and I saw even in that, man, I saw the difference in how they treated the black men that were in the special forces versus the white men that was in the special forces. I would highly go against that. But if that's something you want to do, by all means, go ahead and do it. Just know that your life expectancy, which is already low, which is already going to be short and low in the military, it's only going to get shorter and lower in that aspect. So just think about that. Now you're going to be able to go through a lot of unique and different experiences being in the special forces because these guys have some really interesting stories because they don't fall under the same black and white lines of everybody else in the service. So if that's something that you are interested in, you want to do, like Ross said, then do it. Me and him are not in a position to tell you what you can and can't do, or what you won't and can't do. So if that's what you want to do it. But we're just cautioning you against it, that it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something for real. Now let's answer your third question. What's the biggest surprise in the army? The biggest surprise in the army for me is the fact that it's 70 to 75% black people in there, and you barely have most of these people in the top rank, in the top brass. That was always the biggest surprise to me. I'm like, well, how does a military branch have so many people that look like me, but the people that's telling us what to do don't look like me? The majority of them, that is. And the ones that look like me are usually like high ranking NCOs, not
Yep.
commissioned officers. He said, thank y'all for the advice. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
And Rip B. Brazy, when it comes to all TC in high school, man, listen, man. You're gonna be dealing with challenges
I think he
with
out of high
people.
school now.
Oh, he's out of high school. Okay.
He said I was an ROTC in high
Oh, he
school.
wasn't. Okay, my bad. I wasn't ROTC in high school all 4 years, and when it comes to trying to help black people in class, it was the most difficult task. Yeah, it was the most difficult task doing that, because you're dealing with people that already have their mindsets made up. And to be honest with you, it's also difficult because of the experiences of what they dealt with. You dealing with street knowledge and street shit that you deal with, the hood shit that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. These motherfuckers are always gonna either rebel or be like, man, that military shit, that's for cornballs. That shit weak, man. You're some sucker shit. That's what they're gonna tell you. So of course you're gonna be dealing with that. They're not seeing what you see. You're seeing it as a means to get to the next get to the next phase in your life. You're looking at it as a means to an end because of the circumstances and environment that you're in. I'm gonna tell you right now, if Ross didn't take the direction he took in the service, I didn't take the direction I took, we wouldn't be in the positions that we're in today. We saw it as a means to a fucking end, man, to get us out of the situations that we're in. It was too easy, man. I was in my junior year in high school, and the recruiter came to me and was like, "Yo, you could," and that's how he sold me. He was like, "Man, you could travel the world. You can basically get up out of your environment. You can see different things. You can experience different things." When he said that, that stuff started like my ears was peaking, but that's not what sold me. What sold me was I was trying to get the fuck up out of that house, and I didn't want to see people, because to me, college, I don't know if Ross feel like that. College to me is like high school all over again, but a graduated state. I just didn't want to see the same motherfuckers again that I was fucking messing with in fucking high school. Man, I wanted to be
Yeah, I
away from
think
that shit.
crazy thing is, um, the military like high school. It's just motherfuckers you don't know.
Exactly.
It's like high school, and you got the freedom of college.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the we call them barracks, but y'all call them dorms.
Yep.
But it's like high school when you're on deployment, because niggas don't do shit but gossip. Motherfuckers worry about who fucking who. It's a lot of goofy shit going on. But you gotta stay on the task, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta stay on the task, man. Have you some goals set up if you're gonna go to the military. Make sure you always pushing towards those goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bigger picture. Your big picture, your life. That's what you got to be pushing. No matter what happens, no matter what details happen throughout the day, you got to always be moving forward towards your goal, your real goal.
Facts. And
But
and I'm glad you said that. And that's what you should be prescribing to. A lot of us are not told that, and a lot of us are not put in a position where we think about these things. But these things are important, man. They're instrumental. You're not gonna think about it early on. Let's just be honest, because you're gonna be young, dumb, and full of cum. So you're just gonna be out there just doing all kinds of shit. And you need to experience life when you're young like that. We can't expect you guys to have it all figured out, especially if you wet behind the ears and you haven't really had experiences. That's too much for you to try to grow up overnight. That shit doesn't happen. There's an evolution in your thought process in your mind that happens for you to grow up. You start figuring shit out. Most people, most normal people, start figuring out the ins and outs of the service, I'll say by the third year, and that's most people. Then they start getting to a place because they're getting towards the end of their first enlistment. Then they got to start making that decision whether they just gonna continue on after their first enlistment and re-enlist again, or if they're gonna get the fuck out. So most people start really getting serious around that third year. But those first 3 years, man, everybody tricking off, man. Everybody having fun in their own way. Everybody doing all kinds of shit because you not of a evolution mindset yet to figure it out. I mean, you 18, what, 19, and what, by 3 years from now, you're gonna be 21, 22. Man, you ain't got shit figured out at those ages. You just trying to have fun. Now, after you get about 21, 22, and then they tell you, well, you 21, you're a little adult now. Like you're an official adult, because there's 18 adult, and then there's 21 adult, because you can drink and shit now. Now that's when you start looking at shit and you be like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life? Then you start thinking a little bit. You're not fully thinking, you're still having your fucking fun because you're in your early 20s, but you're thinking more than you was at 18, 19. I guarantee you that. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I like about the service is it accelerates the growth process. So, and what do I mean by that? You're a few years ahead of a college person. A college person that is thinking mentally at 21, 22, that's the way you're thinking at 18, 19, because they forcing you to grow up faster than you're supposed to. So you're ahead of them in a lot of ways. Now, that's not the case for all of the soldiers.
You're a lot more
motherfuckers, they just don't grow the fuck up, but it's the case for a lot of people. Yep. Go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, man. What's another thing that I had to overcome? I had to overcome caring about how I'm perceived.
Yep.
By white people, and thinking I had to prove to them that I'm better than them, and better than them. Mm-hmm. When in reality, it doesn't matter. You bet. I had to grow with this shit to realize it never matter what I did. There will always be something to be said.
Facts.
And that's the mental control. Mm-hmm. Anyone who carries a relationship with you that nothing you do means anything, or they always downplay it, they're controlling you because they want you to continue trying to prove yourself to them.
Facts.
And the way you destroy that control is you spit in their face and say, I don't give a fuck about what you think.
Yep.
This is anybody.
Yep.
You let them know clearly that what they think means nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
You know what I'm saying? But it takes some time to get to that point, because you want people to give you the just due that you think you deserve, not knowing that as a black man, you're never going to get the just due you deserve.
Facts.
You have to learn how to do without that.
Yep.
And just even within your family, you might have kids. You might have a wife that don't give you the just due. You have to learn that whatever's not giving you the just due, either you learn how to live with that or you get rid of it.
Exactly.
But you can't expect what's not coming, and you can't expect what's not coming, and you can't accept something you can't live with. So if you can't live with it, you gotta get rid of it.
Yep. That's true. That's big knowledge, big gems, and big jewels. And I think the biggest burden that you have to deal with being a black individual in the service is you're always gonna have to deal with some kind of prejudice and some kind of racism, man, in some form, some facet. And I'm gonna tell you right now, every year you in the service, it manifests and rears its ugly head in some way. It's gonna do that every year, man. And it happens in seasons. You may be dealing with someone that newly that basically transferred from one duty station to the next, and then now they coming in with this rah-rah mentality, whatever the fuck they came from. It was probably rah-rah over there, so they bring that shit over here, and everybody's on the chill status, and then it changes the momentum and the dynamics of the situation. Or you just dealing with the status quo. There's always that one motherfucker in the group that always want to be extra, Confederate flag like a motherfucker, racist like a motherfucker, prejudice like a motherfucker. You always dealing with some shit. And then it's like you the one that they always want to deal with. You the one that they want to come out and try to use as some kind of fucking example. My case in point, I would say year 2.5 going into year 3. I was in Iraq at the time. Um, this white guy, he outranked me big time, man. He was a they call them warrant officers. They're right in between the NCO and right in between the commission officers. He was a warrant officer. And I forgot the warrant officer if he was warrant officer 3 or 4. I could have got in serious trouble. I ain't give a fuck, man. This motherfucker, I put that shit on my community post. This motherfucker, it was the Haitian flag day. I talked about it. This motherfucker came to me, was like, "Where you from?" I said, because I lead with that. Everybody knows that. I said, "I'm Haitian." My parents, they're from Haiti. Oh, you one of those types. I said, what the fuck you mean one of those types? That's what I told him just like that. What the fuck you mean?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, you fucking Haitian, man. You guys," and that's why I learned about the term. You fucking Haitian, man. You guys, you live in a fucking shithole. You live in a shit place. I let him talk for a second before I riled up. If anybody knows me, Ross knows this. While you talking, you saying something offensive to me, I don't rile up like that. It's a built up thing for me. And then I do a facial expression. Ross know that facial expression better than anybody. I do a facial expression. Once I start doing that face, it's over. But it builds up. As he was talking, the shit was building up inside of me. And when it comes to being Haitian, man, it's all pride for me. So I heard him. I said, I know this motherfucker. I said, I know this motherfucker didn't say. Just saying that shit got me tense right now. I said, I know this motherfucker just didn't say this shit. I told him, say it again. I said, say it out loud. I said, and I want you to say it real loud. Say it again. I said, if you got balls, motherfucker, you gonna say this shit again. He said, who you talking to like that? I'm a warrant officer. You don't talk to me like that. I'll rank you, soldier. I said, say that shit again.
First of all, you're not being a warrant officer right now. You're being ignorant.
Exactly. Yeah, I said, say that shit again. I didn't hear all that warrant officer shit. I just told him straight up, man, say that shit again. He said it again. Right when about 3-4 words was coming out, they'll tell you, man, I strangled this motherfucker, man. I was right on top of him. I damn near almost choked the life out of him. Almost killed him. I got possessed. I damn near was right on top of this dude, choking the life out of him, man. I wanted everything to come out of his ass. I didn't even care what would happen to me after that. All I remember was all kinds of shit coming out of him. I see motherfuckers trying to take it. They said I was so I was my hands was on his neck so much. It was like I remember it was multiple people trying to remove me, man. About 6-7 people trying to get me off. They couldn't get me off. That's how much I had this motherfucker pent the fuck down. And then all I remember in that moment, I remember saying, "Don't you?" I said, "Keep saying that shit. Say that motherfucking shit again. Don't you ever motherfucking say that shit again, you bitch ass." I was saying all kinds of shit to this motherfucker, talking shit. And I was, and you know how you choke somebody and you lean in. I leaned in with the choke, so that way it was an extra fucking choke.
Right.
And then I remember my senior drill sergeant, he kicked me. He had to kick me off of him. That was the only way that I could move off of him. He like literally had to kick me. He said, "You about to kill this guy." That's all I remember. You about to fucking kill this guy. And he kicked me. And then that's when I finally came off. People were trying to push me off, everything.
Yeah.
And then once I got off this motherfucker, and then I got back to my normal mind, all I could see was he was just there, and they had to like carry his ass into the room. And 2-3 days later, I didn't see this motherfucker for like 2-3 days. They said that I crushed his ability to speak. Yeah, he couldn't speak. I
Yeah.
crushed that shit, man. And after
that's what the fuck you get.
Yeah, and this motherfucker started talk when he started talking, he sounded like his windpipe was kind of crushed, and he was trying to say something. He was like that, and they told him, it was one of the soldiers that had told him, "I don't think you're gonna ever talk about Haitian people that way. I don't think you're ever gonna say anything fucking bad about Haiti again like that." They start picking on him, and then every time I came around, he would like either get up and go and walk away, or he would get up and turn around. Like he would turn away from me. And then it was like 2-3 months later when I was in the service, I saw him again because he just fucking disappeared or some shit. And my the sergeant that was over me, my sergeant first class, my E7, said, "Man, You fucked that motherfucker up. Me and him had a very good relationship. I was an E4, he was an E7, but that was my NCO, man. That motherfucker had my back. He didn't let nobody fuck with me. Cause when everybody was pushing me off, he was right there as the cheerleader saying, "Man, crush his fucking." He said that dude was from Georgia, man. He said, "Yeah,
Yeah,
crush his fucking neck. Fuck him." He
yeah,
said, he said, "I don't like
yeah,
that motherfucker." He said, "I don't like that motherfucker anyways. Crush his fucking." That shit was funny as fuck. He was like, "Crush his fucking windpipe." So when I saw the dude 3 months later, he came to me. He apologized, and he was like, I was completely out of line, and I should have never said that or whatever. I was being very disrespectful and all that. I said, "Look, man, I ain't even trying to hear all that. You knew what you said. You knew what you meant at that moment,
you
and
meant
it
it.
took for me to have to crush your windpipe for you to finally come and give me this apology. So, boo hoo hoo that shit over there." He thought I
Yeah,
was gonna actually accept this fucking apology. I didn't accept this shit because that shit is all pride for me, man. Like I don't play with that when it comes to that kind of shit. I don't play.
yeah, man. And that's the type of shit, man. Like motherfuckers be saying little passive aggressive shit like that all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
then when they get hands laid upon them, whenever they get the mighty vengeance laid upon them, they want to act like they want to act like they victims and shit.
Yep.
I
Yep.
remember just gonna show you just how much race be on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bar. No, we had a club in Japan called Club X.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful Japanese, Philippine women, black women who are like what they call it when you're a student from afar, foreign exchange
Oriental.
students.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange students.
We got beautiful women all around us. It's a Portuguese dudes ain't nothing but white men.
Mm-hmm.
Portugal is in Europe, right next to Spain. Portuguese dude asked me, he's like, "Hey man, you cool as fuck. I just want to know, man, can I be one of your niggas? Can I call you nigga?" And I was like, "Why the fuck you want to say the N word so bad?"
Exactly.
He's like, "Nah, are you cool? I look up to you. I'm so cool. So I just want to be cool with you, man." I was like, "You
Mm-hmm.
can't be cool with me." And he's like, "Well, why I can't call you a nigga like everybody else? All your rest of your friends?" I said, "Low key, we ain't supposed to be calling each other that.
Facts.
But due to this thing called colonialism and slavery, we
Mm-hmm.
call each other a lot of fucked up things. We made fucked up things into terms of endearment.
Yep. That's true.
You didn't go through that." I said, "Did you go through that?" He said, "No, not that I know of." I was like, "Yeah, you're right, because your people put Brazilians through that. Y'all was
Facts.
slave masters, man. You're
Facts.
Portuguese. Y'all was the Brazilian slave masters."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, do yourself a favor, enjoy your drink before you fuck around and you get injured in here, man. They like, yeah, I thought we was. I was like, I'm cool. I'm not saying I'm gonna be the one to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I was like, if you talk to the right person right now, they would already whoop your ass.
Yep.
I said, I'm far removed from that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you know your mind state is why the world fucked up today.
That's true.
White people who just want to be inclusive, who just want to say the N word. I just want to go to Juneteenth. I just want to, like, bro, celebrate y'all shit. Let us have some shit to our own, please.
Always want to
Leave
be
us
all up in our shit.
alone. All
Always.
we ever wanted as black people to be left alone.
Exactly.
That's it.
And celebrate our own shit.
We don't want nothing from y'all.
And
Give us
celebrate our own shit in peace.
clean drinking water and education is all we ask. Leave us
Mm-hmm.
alone. We
Yep.
don't want. I've never walked up to a white person and said, "Can I call you a hunky?
Yep.
Can I call you a cracker?" I
Yep.
never thought to think like that. Who want? Why are you asking if you can call me a nigga?
And this is the thing, when they have their little KKK meetings and all this other shit, you don't see us gun holder want to be up in that shit. So why y'all trying to be up in our Juneteenth and all this other shit too? I mean, I don't understand this shit.
Right. So I had to tell him, like, I said, bro, I said, "What you drinking, man?" He said, "Jack and Coke." I said, "Man, enjoy every sip of that Jack and Coke, man. Sit there and enjoy your Jack and Coke, man. You don't fuck around, you gonna get injured, man." I don't see. He said, "I don't see why white people so violent, black people so violent." I said, I said, "You know why we so violent, man?" I said, "We learn from the best, man.
Yep.
We learn violence from y'all.
Yep.
We learn from the best, man." And I'm not like every black person, Normal black nigga only violence to black people. I said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
violence to white people, man.
Yep.
If you call me an N-word, I'm telling you right now, you cool with me. We've been out drinking, we done had girls together, whatever. You call me the N-word, I'm gonna break every bone in your body with my bare fist, man.
Yep.
With my bare fist. He's like, I doubt that. And one of my homeboys with my other shit was like, he ain't playing. That nigga broke 3 ribs from somebody and broke their face.
Yep.
Their hands. Oh shit. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm trying to. He's like, why you so calm? I was like, because I would really hurt you. That's why.
Yeah.
I know what I'm gonna do with you, and I don't want to do it to you. That's why I'm so calm.
Yep.
Other niggas be talking so loud because they really be scared. They be talking that fear way. I don't have no fear, man. Because I've been whooped before. You lose a fight, you lose a fight.
That's it.
I ain't scared to lose no fight. But I'll tell you what, if I land these motherfuckers on you,
it's over.
You might win, but you ain't gonna never want to fight again.
It's over.
You ain't gonna never want to fight again. You're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to fight that motherfucker ever again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he just sat there and shit, drinking his shit. Then they never talked to me ever again, man.
That's it.
We was on the same shit for another year. He never spoke to me again. You'll see me put his head down, keep walking. Yeah, I'm not one of these other black niggas that's saying let you call them nigga and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they used to. I'm from Chicago. I don't know what niggas used to, what type of niggas they been around. But white people don't call us niggas.
Nah.
Where I'm from.
You don't even dare.
They don't do that.
You don't do that
even
shit.
Not even that. And yeah, we known for being violent towards each other, but we also violent towards other people too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
we ain't just a nigga that's just violent towards each other. Black niggas in Chicago violent towards everybody who try to.
Yep.
You will see a father whooping his son ass if you get too crazy. Like a nigga in the streets. Like, bitch ass nigga, you told me what? Bring your ass outside, son.
And so the moral of the story is you deal with either myself or Ross. You dealing with a crushed windpipe, or you dealing with every bone in your body being fucking broken, man.
That's another thing. That's another thing about Miami. Everybody, when they think about Miami, they think pretty bitches, BBLs. A lot of bitches be getting BBLs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They think about good food. They think about good times. They think about the ocean. Niggas in Miami be fighting all the time.
All the fucking time.
No,
man.
not niggas that just don't like each other. Niggas that's friends be fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They got fight leagues.
Yep.
These niggas put up tarps. And they fight for the pride of their hood, man.
Yeah, boy.
That's what Kimbo Slice came from.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas sit and beat the shit out of each other. So that's what niggas not understanding, man. So you already know these don't make the niggas to play with when it comes to shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was watching that documentary, it wasn't a white motherfucker in sight, boy.
No, not one.
It was a couple of Cubans that was out there fighting this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't no white motherfucker in sight in that hood. I think that shit was in Dade County.
Dade County, yep.
Where they was fighting at, man.
They were going in, man. They was going in.
No weight classes, no nothing. Skinny
None
niggas
of that shit. That shit don't exist. Fuck. What the fuck is that?
Only thing they can't do, they can't grab each other and slam each other. It gotta be all knuckles.
Yep.
Them niggas in there mixing, man.
Yep.
Like, ooh. Buddy talking about he wanted a rematch of the week. Like, y'all niggas need to go to the hospital. So them niggas is tough too. You know what I'm saying? It's tough people everywhere. But what I'm trying to get to people is, as Hebrews, man, we supposed to live. It said we supposed to live peaceful with all men.
Mm-hmm.
But we supposed to treat our people on a different level. We supposed to try our best.
Yeah.
To be peaceful with our people. Our best. So there ain't no last resort, man.
Yep.
Nowadays, we got more patience for other people than we got our own.
Mm-hmm.
More patience with other people than we have our own.
Yep.
Why am I so patient with these young niggas I had to lead, man? Because I realized they wasn't done no favors by their parents, man. Yep. They wasn't done no favors by the hoods they came up in. They ain't got no OGs like me. Even when I was in the street, I still had OGs out there, man. Younger, hey, man. Why the fuck would you bring yourself outside, drink all this liquor, and know your ass don't know how to drink, man?
Exactly.
Take your goofy ass home. Hey, get this motherfucker some water, man. Make him drink this whole gallon of water and get him to the house, man.
Yep.
Nowadays, that same person will just walk past you.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no OGs. So I understand these young niggas, they lost, man.
Yep.
So I had a lot of patience with them. But I mean, to tell you, that's the shit that broke my heart. It wasn't the racist shit I had to endure in the Navy. My grandma was a white woman, by the way. She told me stay away from white people. They don't mean you no harm. They gonna try to take advantage of you. A white Italian, an Irish woman, so she like don't. I just had white friends. She's like, she'd be like, stay away. What are you doing? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Tell her the white. Who is you? How you know him?
Yep.
You don't need to be around him. He don't need to be around you. She'd be saying that shit. She like, man,
Cause she
watch
knew.
these. Huh?
Cause she knew.
Yeah, she said, watch that. Watch them. You don't need to be around them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cause my hair texture is different, so I'm one of the rare black dudes that can actually catch lice from people. Most black people can't catch lice because our hair texture, they can't live in there, right? My hair texture, I can. I came home with that shit. My grandmother said, "Who the fuck you been around?" I was like, "Oh, because Chicago, you always meet the niggas on the first day and doing shit you ain't got no business doing." And then she was like, she was like, a white boy. She was like, you was around somebody white. And then she was like, cuz ain't no black kid gave you all these fucking bugs in your head. Took me to the barbershop, the Puerto Rican dude didn't even make me feel bad, man. Cut my hair and shit. He had like he ain't seen nothing. He just cut my hair, made me look presentable and shit. And then the whole time she was like, what the fuck I tell you? She was cussing me out, this, that, and the third. But everything she taught me was everything I needed, man.
Yep.
I always knew I have to, even when they being nice, I gotta always watch these motherfuckers. Always something to these motherfuckers, man.
Always.
Dude was cool as fuck the whole time. So he got a little too drunk. The buddy said, man, I just want to call you a nigga. Yep. I said, check it out, Joe. Cause I West check it out, man. You about to get on my nerves. Hey man, check it out, man. Listen, you gonna fuck around and get injured, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you drink your motherfucking drink and have a good time. You gonna fuck around. George Sims Bishop said, South Carolina ghetto, white folks love saying the N-word. They'll walk to their black friends and call all day and start fighting to defend white folks. Exactly, man. I don't know what the fuck be going down.
I don't know what's going down over there in South Carolina. They can't do that shit in Miami like that.
Reason why, you know what it is? Pussy could be used as a brain control and witchcraft device.
That's true.
A lot of these niggas be so wrapped up in fucking white girls and being in that element just to get some white pussy that they'll
let anything go.
They'll be in an element where they let a white woman call them a nigga, man. And did you know Did you know I put a white bitch on my crib naked, man?
Yep.
She was in my crib. She was giving me head on my couch. I was watching sports. I used to argue watching sports while fucking. I was watching sports and shit. And she was like, I ain't gonna get too explicit because it's all men in here.
Yeah.
But she said something about, she said an N-word. You know what I mean? I grabbed that bitch up by her head and pushed her out the crib, man, and threw out her shit out the window like you ever. Some of y'all too young to know this, but it used to be this cartoon called the Flintstones. And at the end of every Flintstone episode, the Dino, it's really a dinosaur, but it's their dog. He kicks Fred out the house and throw his shit out the window.
Yeah. So
I threw that bitch out, and I threw her shit out the window, man. They called her a cab. Like, man, I'm calling you a cab. They finna come scoop you, man. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You can't come back in here. And they said, well, I said, why? She said, you're the first person to ever act like this. That let me know a lot of black men weak. That let me know a lot of black men weak, bro. How the fuck I'm the only black nigga that said something about her saying the N-word during sex?
Yep.
That shit don't turn me on, man. This is a physical thing here. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't turn me on. And that's how that let me know there's a lot of motherfuckers who crazy over interracial sex.
Yep.
They don't have no morals.
Or they let it take a hold of them and they get so obsessed by the shit to the point where they lose their own identity, man. I mean, shit, we've all been with a white motherfucker or whatever. A few white motherfuckers. I mean, it is what it is.
But they're not supposed to be calling you niggas.
Nope. And not disrespect you. I remember there was one. It's interesting Ross said that because I remember there was one that tried. I mean, I know she was. I said, okay, this motherfucker's a little resilient, but she wasn't getting out of hand or whatever. Because in my mind, I mean, like you got my shit in your mouth, so Anytime you got my shit in your mouth, I'm in lead position. That's the way I look at the shit. Then she says some shit where she used the N word, and this is the time that you really don't want to pull your shit out of somebody's mouth when you getting ready to just unload on their ass, right? She said the N word, man. I pulled my shit out, walked out, and I unload on myself. That's
Right.
how much. That's how a lot of guys don't have that level of control, but I have that level of control. I just walked off, unload on myself. She was like, man, I was looking at it, I ain't gonna get explicit, but y'all put two and two together. Basically, I was looking at y'all know what I mean. I said, fuck you, man. You call me the N-word. I don't ever want to
Right.
see you, bitch. And
Right.
I just walked off.
Right. Because
I never seen that chick again. Never.
if I was a lesser man, I would slap the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a man. I don't want to deal with these police and shit. So just
Yeah.
get the fuck out of my house.
Well, we both was in the service too, so she know how to reach out and touch me. So I just walked the fuck out.
Right.
That's it. I just walked the fuck out, man. I said, fuck you, bitch. Walk the fuck out. Never saw her again. She saw me in passing in the child hall, whatever. But when I say I never saw her again, meaning I never saw her again on that level.
You never acknowledged her.
I never acknowledged her. Saw me in the child hall and all that shit, trying to say hey, hello, whatever. I act like a motherfucker didn't exist. Because to me, you said the most profane thing, the most disrespectful, the most derogatory thing ever. I never could associate with you ever again.
And that's another thing, going back to what we were talking about earlier. Another thing you got to worry about, because I see some of y'all probably think about going to the military, is if you go the enlisted route, I mean, he knows that you got a lot of immature men, man.
Yep.
I was in an all-male division. We saw women only on certain occasions. I was in an all-male division.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no sexually active man gonna go months without relieving himself. You dip off in the bathroom. You finna go do what you gotta do. You got goofy niggas trying to look over the stars, see if they can catch you, man. Playing, man.
I know that shit was that shit was ridiculous. I'm glad you mentioned that shit.
And I said, dude, man, I want to say the F-bomb and get this whole. I said, man, what the fuck is going on with you?
I'm glad you touched on this shit, Ross. I'm glad you touched on it. Go ahead, man.
But at the time, I was writing a letter, because you only supposed to write letters on Sundays. I wrote letters every day, but I used to do it when like at night and shit. I was writing a letter. I wasn't even going to do that. I was writing a letter. So when they looked over, I was writing. I said, man, what the fuck is you? What you thought you was gonna see, man?
Exactly.
I said, what you thought you were gonna see? You like, nah, man, they just saw me. I said, so you wanted to see if my dick was out?
Exactly.
And they like, not crazy. I was like, honestly, that's what you want to see. You want to see when my dick was out? Like, you gay, man?
Exactly.
He's like, no, I'm not gay. I said, nah, man, I'm gonna let it be known you gay, man. He like, man, don't tell nobody that shit. I said, why the fuck was y'all being here giggling, seeing if y'all gonna come here and see me catch me jacking off? I said, y'all, man.
I never could understand. I never could understand that kind of shit. I'm glad Ross brought it up, because I'd be in the barracks on the dorm, because we called it both barracks and dorms in the Army, depending on the location we was in, but mostly dorms. So Ross is right about that. Being the shit, man. Next thing you know, when you got it like that, you got it like that. I'm sure it was like that for Ross. I know it was damn near like that for Ross. But in the barracks, you split two sides. One soldier get one side, you get another side. That's how the shit world. So you know what I had to do? I had to like cover every crevice of every area on my side, because of the shit that Ross is talking about. Niggas looking up to try to peek while you blowing somebody's back out. They hear the girl on the other side because they weirdo ass can't get none. They hearing the girl on the other side getting pumped the fuck up, and they want to come out and pee. I'm like, what the fuck? You know how many times I had to look, turn around, the girls yelling like, you fucking creepy weirdo. Why are you watching us? And then I have to look up real quick, like, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? How many times I have to do that shit? That shit was crazy.
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
What the fuck is wrong with you? And that's when I didn't even know the word existed at the time. But that's when they were showcasing us that behavior. We didn't know what it was called. And then we come so many years later to know it's called cuckold. Well, I didn't know what the fuck that shit was at that time. And it was always some white motherfucker doing that shit, man.
Man, that was the tricky part about it. I ain't gonna lie. I want to agree with you, but in the several times that it happened to me, it's been mostly black dudes, man.
Damn, that's
You know
not
what I'm
good.
saying? And I ain't saying that just to be disagreeing with you. I'm saying that as a disappointment, man.
Damn.
I said, bro, cause you know how you can feel somebody looking at you. I'm writing good. I'm like, yeah, you know, so I miss you too, blah, 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 this and that, third. Keep that what's the name wet for me while I get to the crib. I said, hold up. I said, bro, what you looking at? And then, nah, they just said you be dipping off, jacking off. I said, so what? You wanted to catch my dick in my hand? He said, no,
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
I just want to see what's true. I said, why you want to see if it's true? I said, everybody in here is jacking off, man. We all
Yeah,
young men.
exactly.
That goes without saying. At some point, niggas gonna go jack off, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. He's like, yeah, but those niggas said that you don't even get them for you. I said, bro, why are we having this conversation as two men, man?
Exactly. Why are you even in my fucking business?
They like, nah, you trying to make it seem good. I said, bro, ain't nothing straight about this conversation, bro.
Nah,
You
nothing
came
about
here
it.
to try to catch me jacking off. I'm
Yep.
like, why you want to do that? Well,
Yep.
you think I got something to marvel at? I said,
Yep.
why you want to do that? Why you? I was like, I know when y'all niggas be dipping off in the middle of the night. It ain't always to take a piss.
Exactly.
I don't follow you, nigga. I turn over and go to sleep. Nigga.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm
Well, I put my
saying?
fucking headphones on, man, and,
Yeah.
and listen to some fucking music or some shit, man. I ain't trying
Don't
to be
follow
all up
y'all
in
nigga.
your
'Cause
shit.
this was in boot camp.
Yeah.
I said, oh man. I said, bro, I got a couple of weeks left. That shit blew me, man. I said, these motherfuckers don't realize
It
what they
threw me
did.
for a loop too, because I didn't even realize motherfuckers got down like that, man. That's when I
That's what
started
let me know.
realizing the
That first
weird shit.
in my boot camp, the first day, no, the first night you really get in your final compartment where you're gonna be at for the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody they in there, everybody lying to each other about how cold it was in the outside world.
Yeah.
That's when I realized niggas just be capping, man.
They be capping like a
I'm talking
motherfucker.
about niggas. I'm talking about. I'm sitting there being quiet. Most of the niggas that's from the actual city, we weren't talking too much.
Nope.
It was either there was niggas from the city. They were doing one or two things. They was either being quiet or they was the leaders of all the cappers.
Exactly.
But the nigga that was from the city,
you ain't lying.
right. But the nigga that from the city that was really getting into shit,
Yep.
we wasn't talking much, right?
Yep.
So these was cap. These was selling big bricks. There was fucking big hoes. These niggas
Yep.
had big cars, everything, right? Yet they
Yep.
had boot camp
Yep.
with me, right? So they thought I never told nobody else from Chicago, but that we call him the RPOC.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the lead dude, the listed guys that's in boot camp with you, is called the RPOC. The second is called the A-Rock. Then you got a Master at Arms and this and that third.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Carbondale, Illinois. That's a suburb of Chicago. So he looked up to me already. I pretty much had control over the division by default. I was a real Chicago nigga.
Yep.
Of default, niggas from other cities was fucking with me because they knew it was real. And
Yep.
my realness is a quiet realness. Everybody find out shit about me through other people. I never tell people directly what I get into. Never.
Yep.
I never tell. I have one nigga that's cool that know everything, but I let him speak for me. I never speak directly. Like, I get bitches and that third. Another nigga be like, oh, you can't talk about that nigga Ross. That nigga Ross get bitches. I just think and that's how the legend grow. So this is the first day though. Nobody know nothing for me about me.
Yep.
Well, so I was sitting on my rack and shit, listening to these niggas cap. I got my back toward them though. They're like, Ross, man, tell us some of the stories from the shop, man. Blah blah blah. We know. Either you was a real nigga, or you was getting whooped by real niggas. And then I said, man, I ain't gotta put nothing to y'all niggas. All y'all niggas over there just lying, man. I said, all y'all niggas name is fuck. Y'all niggas didn't get into nothing.
Exactly.
I pulled my cover over my head and laid down. One of them niggas, they're like, oh, you was gonna go to sleep on us? Like, you a real nigga like that? And then it was the nigga I linked up with. It was cool for the whole time. He was from Queens, New York City. And he's like, exactly, son. I'm the one to say this shit for hours. Y'all niggas over there lying, man. He said, y'all niggas ain't kill nobody, man. He said, y'all book out just like us, man.
Yep.
He went in on them for like 30 minutes talking shit about them and shit.
Yep.
I turned my back on them. And ever since then, the power dynamics is switched.
Yep.
Because I did that to all the niggas in that circle was a nigga that was going around punking the white niggas, pushing them and shit, like wrestling, slamming them and shit. And I was a nigga that treated them. Basically, I didn't give them time of day. I said, man, y'all niggas ain't talking about nothing. Y'all niggas lame as fuck. And I turned my back on them and went to sleep. I didn't realize what I did. I watched my uncle the dynamic. He said, you you basically said I'm top dog
Yep.
when you did that. Cause my uncle's in jail for. He said you basically you were top dog when you did it to the point to where you didn't have to solidify who you was to them. They were kids to you. You're
Exactly.
like that's what you do to your little bro. When your little bro talking some goofy shit, you just go to sleep while he talking. Like man, all
Exactly.
right, man, I'm about to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what
Yep.
you talking about, nigga. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
this shit don't make no sense. It's not worth your time, basically.
Ever since then, I was top dog at boot camp. I'm talking about I was top dog at boot camp, bro.
Yep.
Talking about I would get niggas were getting whooped at boot camp. I'm like, man, slap that nigga, bro. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yep. It's
I'm like,
interesting you said that because that was my thing when I was in boot camp and at AIT. Motherfuckers was so because I'm motherfucker. I like to talk, but when I was in boot camp AIT, I ain't do much talking. Man, Ross is right about that. When you from the city and you see the way these motherfuckers are moving, and you know they moving in a very inferior way to you, you don't talk much because you're like, man, I don't understand half this goofy shit that I'm seeing around me, all this cornball shit. So when motherfuckers was just so enamored with me saying that I was from Miami and the stigma behind it, they always want to ask me questions about South Beach, ask me questions about Trick Daddy Luke. Did shit go down like that? Ask me questions about Cocaine Cowboys. I said, oh, I could finesse these motherfuckers. I got leverage with this shit. And then the women hear that shit and then they look at you a little different. I used to leverage the fuck out of that shit, man. And
yeah,
they'd be like, oh, was it true? And the shit is true. If I want to tell you some things, I'm gonna tell you some things. But what I would do is I would freeze people out from information and don't tell them shit. And that would
right,
make the person want more and more and more and more. So then it got to a point where it was like, oh, I could just finesse this and use this to my advantage so I can get these motherfuckers to start doing shit for me. So I would just have motherfuckers run errands for me because I ain't want to fucking go places. So I'd be like, hey man, go do this shit for me real quick. Yeah, you go do this real quick. You go do that, and you go to knock this thing out, make it look good in front of the drill sergeant. You know, I'll give you a little story. I'll give you a little story. I'll tell you a little something.
man. You know how you got to fold your shit a certain way at boot camp,
Mhm.
man. I ain't never learned how to do that shit, man.
No, I never.
Don't niggas do that shit, man.
Yeah, they did it for you.
Don't niggas do
And that,
that shit, man. Only thing I learned how to do, cause I knew how to do before I got to boot camp, is shine my shoes. My daddy taught me how to
mhm.
shine my shoes.
Yeah, and the women, man, because you know I used to in boot camp before it was all men boot camp. It was they had me at a co-ed where it was men and women. And when the women found out I was from there, even from the Greyhound or whatever, I was getting head on the fucking Greyhound because I told them I was from Miami. So that shit was just easy for me. Oh, you from Miami? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, you know how they get down, right? I said, you ever watch a Luke video? I said, you ever listen to Two Live Crew? You know how they get down, right? All right. Then if you already know, it's face down, ass up. I get whatever the fuck I wanted, man. It was just easy. I'd be on a Greyhound getting ready to go where I'm going. Got what the fuck I wanted. Then um when we finally got there to AIT, you know, there was this big booty chick, man. But I could tell that she like ran the girls. You know, there was always that one girl that all the other girls, Ross know what I'm talking about. Whatever she did, all the other girls followed it because they looked at her as she was the standard. And if you chop that motherfucker down, you know you chopping everybody else down. That's the way that shit roll. So this motherfucker tried to act like, oh, you from Miami? Y'all Miami niggas, y'all ain't da 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 da. I said, okay, I'm gonna finesse her real quick. So you know what I did? I went to the chick that was perceived as, and this is how me and Ross knew about this whole alpha male stuff before we even knew the term alpha male existed. I said, I'm gonna find a girl that is the least best looking of the group, and I'm gonna just give her all the fucking attention. I'm gonna make this motherfucker hot. You think you the shit? I'm gonna make this motherfucker hot. So then I started telling that other motherfucker about Miami and all that. This one right here was getting all mad. She was getting all worked up. She was getting hot. She was getting pissed off because I wasn't giving her no fucking attention or whatever. I was giving the least one that nobody was paying attention. But here's the thing: the least one that nobody was paying attention to had the biggest fucking ass. And I'm like, how y'all motherfuckers didn't see this motherfucker's ass? This motherfucker had a big ass. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna fuck this motherfucker. So I fucked her. And then the other one, word got back. She started telling because you know she wanted to tell everybody, oh, he fucked me. So she wouldn't tell everybody. Then this other one that everybody thought was like the creme de la creme, She comes to, my barracks or whatever the next day, all hot and bothered and mad, like, oh, you were supposed to talk to me. Da 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 da. I said, look here, man. I ain't supposed to do shit. You sitting here having your nose up in the air, having your air. I said, man, girls like you are a dime a dozen from where I'm from, man. You don't come around me with this bullshit on you high and mighty and this and that. I ain't got time for that shit, man.
Right.
This girl right here was being cooperative, so I fucked with her. And then that night, I messed that one up. And then after I messed that one up, then it became easy at that point. Then I was able to mess everybody up. And then guess what ended up happening? There was one of them. You know how it'd be one of them that you want to get, but it's always Ross know what I'm talking about. You call them missing encounters. You miss that motherfucker, you never get a chance to miss that motherfucker, to see that motherfucker again, because you
Never
don't
get a
know if
chance,
that
bro.
motherfucker's never in the same duty station with you. You never see. There was one man right before they basically put us on the fucking bus and they shipped us off to where it was all men. There was one motherfucker I wanted. Never saw that motherfucker again in the life of my service, man. Till this day, I regret that I ain't tagged that motherfucker, man. That's how crazy the shit was.
It was a
But it was
Mexican.
all because of reputation. And that's what Ross is telling you. Me and him had reputation. Because of where we was from, we finessed it and we used it to our advantage.
Exactly, bro. I was like, when I seen how even some niggas that was from the streets there, when I seen that there was a level from them and point blank, a lot of people you think really hood niggas really niggas that's associated with real hood niggas. Like for every real gang member, you might have like 10 associates, niggas that's not really in the
Mm-hmm.
gang. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really one of them niggas that's like in the mafia, they call them made men. And every
Yep.
made man got a circle of niggas that's associated with him.
Yep.
They really not in the mafia. They really not members. But
Exactly.
they're tolerated because they know him, if that
Yep.
makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really made. So there's principles and shit, reason why I move the way I move. And people, especially young black men who never had like male figures, anybody with wisdom, they gravitate towards a nigga who got principle and got logic behind he do shit. So
Facts.
everywhere I went, it was like I always had some level of power.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Beyond the military scope, this is a power just amongst men. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere, man.
I'm glad you said that because you know what I noticed? Because I told Ross this. The two types of individuals that always had their way was dudes that came from where I came from, Miami, and dudes that came from Chicago. There was this dude. I was telling Ross this story, man. There was this dude when I was in basic training. Me and him used to joust each other, man. Every time, man. This motherfucker, every time we joust, because I couldn't joust for shit. This motherfucker would knock me off all the way from up top, man. Every time we joust. But every time we got to hand-to-hand combat, I pin his ass down so fast. So it got to a point where it was just like everyone knew we were like the two apex predators there, man. But one thing that I noticed with him, and we was cool. It wasn't like no beef. It wasn't like no competitive thing where it was like, oh, I hate you, I hate you. It was more like we and him was getting tips off of each other. I'm like, man, how you get your waves like that? Because that dude had, I mean, we had 360 waves. This motherfucker had 480 waves, dog. That shit was. This motherfucker had waves that was like right here. If you have waves to your hairline, that is crazy. Like I've
Right.
never seen that before. His hairline was wavy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck that shit happened?
Right.
And the motherfucker would be right in the mirror cutting his shit up, having his shit all nice and fresh. He's like, yeah, I don't trust nobody cutting my hair unless I'm in Chicago and I'm at the barbershop where I normally go. I ain't letting nobody touch my hair. I'm cutting my own shit. And this motherfucker just was smooth, man. I had to give him credit. I'm like, this dude right here, man.
Yeah.
And then he liked the fact that everybody used to always come to me and ask me about fucking Miami and ask me about stories and shit. And he used to be so amazed by it. Like, why everybody always coming up to you and always asking you questions and shit like that, man? It was like, what the fuck be going down there like that, man? I said, I don't know. I'm not in these people's heads. It seemed like these people are more enamored about the city than I am. And yeah, the city got a lot of shit going on, but it ain't no different than any other big city, man. I mean, it is what it is. But if they're so enamored by it, okay, we're gonna finesse this. We're gonna use this to our fucking advantage. So me and him kept using tips off of each other, and we became the best of friends, man. Even to the point when we got to AIT, it was about who was banging the most chicks. And even when we banged the most chicks, me and him would be talking about what that same chick did for both of us. I mean, that shit was funny as fuck. Like the dude was a cool ass dude, man. That's all I remember. And I said to myself, man, I could fuck with these Chicago dudes. And I realized it wasn't just Chicago dudes that I was cool with. It was always dudes from Texas too. Whether it was Dallas, Houston. I fucks with dudes heavy like that, man. I told Ross a story with me and these Texas dudes that me and Ross was laughing over this shit. We drank Hennessy. I don't know if y'all have ever done this in the military. Let me tell y'all, we used to do a lot of weird combinations and drinks when it came to the military. We mixed Hennessy with fucking
jungle juice.
We you said jungle juice. We missed Hennessy.
Y'all ain't call it that?
No, I'm gonna tell you
jungle juice is when you buy a whole lot of shit and mix it all together.
Yo,
everything.
I heard the term jungle juice, but I'm gonna tell you what we did. And I told Ross this shit. Ross said, y'all some crazy motherfuckers. We took Hennessy and we mixed that bitch with 211. Hennessy is already what it is. 211 is already what it is. We mixed that thing together and we called it Greyhound, man. That thing had us racing. And you had a whole bunch of dudes that couldn't fucking rap for shit. We got microphones and we rapping, dog, for hours. I mean, this should be like 6, 7, 8 hours. We in the berries jamming, chopping and screwing Texas music, or we jamming Florida music and we rapping. Like what we saying is the greatest thing ever, man.
As soon as a nigga from Florida get drunk, he gonna start rapping, man. That's one thing Florida niggas and New York niggas got in common. These niggas gonna start rapping, boy.
Oh shit.
You don't hear what the fuck nobody said either. The niggas passionate like a motherfucker. Like, this shit sound fire. I don't know what they said, but this shit sound fire.
And we know we garbage as hell, but can't nobody tell us we garbage.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this. I don't know whether they garbage or not. Because we all drunk.
Yep.
Everybody's loud. Everybody's yelling. You know what I'm saying? So you can't hear anything. You just know that whatever they saying gotta be fire because niggas going crazy.
Yeah. And don't let no chick walk past us. Then we start talking about they big ass and shit, they titties. They think, oh, look at this chick with the big old butt. You know, we just start talking. Like, we just didn't give a fuck, man. Big Spell One says, funny that I got along with other black people from completely different coasts and cities while being in the military. Facts, man. It brought a lot of black people together from a lot of different places. You learn about their cultures. I learned about people from Louisiana. I learned how people in Mississippi get down. I learned about people in South Carolina. Man, I learned about people from all different places. And it was fun dealing with people's different swag, different lingos, different accents. Man, it was fun. And that was like, and Ross could tell you that shit because it's the truth. That was one time in a very long time, Ross, where you had black people actually for a little period of time be in a place of unison, man, where they fucking and vibing with each other. Like it's unity, man. There ain't no divisional shit because we all in the same shit. We all in the same thing. We all in that same military trying to get through it. And in the top end of it, you thinking this shit is gonna last forever. You're gonna be in this thing forever. It's gonna be a long road, and then the years keep flying by, man.
Exactly.
And then you see people in, and then here's the thing that used to trip me out. You see people, and then when you got to say goodbye to people that you was cool with because they going to another duty station, right? Or they transferring out. That used to be, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't know how Ross took that shit. I was a little sad by shit like that, especially if it was somebody I was cool with, man. That shit was a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie. Because you don't already developed a relationship, and that's somebody you was cool with, you was fucking with that person, and then now the person gotta go.
Right. They gotta transfer or they getting out.
Yep.
Yeah, that shit emotional.
Yep.
It is, bro. You get used to that shit though.
Yep, you do.
But yeah, but Big Spell, you right. He said New York black niggas always get dap all the time. Thing is, what I realized about New York niggas is New York niggas,
they be capping.
a lot of someone became. But think about it, all that dapping shit. So they'll say some shit that's offensive and try to dap you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. Me personally. That's why niggas knew only dap niggas that's my niggas.
Yep.
Like as far as this shit, all this and all that, you gotta
Yeah.
be my nigga. If you was just a regular nigga, I'll just be like, to give you a slap, or I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
difference. I always treat niggas a difference, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's kind of like how how Obama, even though I think he was a fugazi motherfucker too. But how Obama always shake if it's a black person, he shake their hand and he hug them. Whereas
Yeah.
with the white motherfucker, he just be like, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that's how I'm like that. I'm like that with everybody. If you're not in a circle, I'll dap you up. You know what I'm saying? Hit the back of your head or hit your shoulder. Like, hey man, how you doing? But if you're just a regular nigga that just try to dap me up because you try to be cool, I always be like, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in Atlanta, when he said clean this, that's the godliness. You did this. Like, bro, I don't fuck with you that way because you ain't finna keep just be dapping over regular shit.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
don't even know you, but you done shook my hand 300 times and shit. Like,
Yeah.
no,
And
no, man.
even if we know each other on that level, Ross, you can't be dapping motherfucker every second. I mean, this shit get annoying. I used to tell them motherfuckers, man, what you dapping for right now?
People don't
Just
realize how
because what?
they'll realize how funny you got to be to give that many daps. The only
Exactly.
time you could dap a black nigga up if you make them laugh, man,
Yeah.
or you say some shit that's fire. If you say
Yeah.
regular shit, you can't dap him up. He not trying to shake your hand on it.
Yeah,
He
man.
thinking
Every
like, yo, that
fucking
shit was even
second.
fire. Like, what the fuck?
And
Like,
let you be around some chicks. They'll even find that shit weird. Like, why you always feel the need to have to dap you or shake your
bro,
hand?
it was
They'll
just
start calling that shit out.
it was just one nigga I had to stop hanging around with. And kind of find out, Buddy wasn't even like that. But
Mm-hmm.
he never had no masculine niggas around him to know that all that touchy, always touchy, and always that like this nigga he wasn't. Matter of fact, he say he's from the south. He's from the south side.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about the nigga was always dapping and like yeah, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Hit the hookah. The hookah crazy. I'm like yeah, that shit hit hard. Man, that shit hit hard, bro. I'm like, bro, why this nigga steady? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, let the shit marinate, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That somebody said something funny, you be like, oh, his hand on you, oh, touch the nigga, this shit. I'm saying, this nigga haven't learned personal boundaries, bro.
Mm-hmm. In the
I
most
got to the
embarrassing
point.
ways too.
It got to the point where I just stopped fucking with buddy. He's like, yo, you don't come through with the hook, you don't come through and hit the hookah with the bitches no more. He said, the gang of bitches over there. I said, man, I'm solid. He said, oh,
Yep.
what? Why? I was like, man, I'm just good, man. I'm good on all that, man. I'm just be chilling, man. This and that third. He's like, man, tell me the truth. What happened? I said, truth be told, you be dapping too much, man. Like, you always
Yeah.
just be touching niggas too much, man. He said, what you trying to say? You trying to say you trying to say I'm gay or something? I said, I'm trying to say you make me uncomfortable, nigga. He said, well,
Exactly.
obviously, so I stopped doing it. I said, no, I want you to be yourself. If that's
Yep.
how you want to live, do that. I just ain't gonna be around you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because once you make me that promise, you ain't gonna do that. Then you do it. Then
Yeah.
I'm gonna go inside your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I said, nah, I ain't gonna put myself in the predicament to go outside this nigga head. I said, go
Yeah.
ahead, do whatever you think you need to do, bro. Just know that's why I ain't coming over there. You be dapping, you be too touchy feely, bro. You get drunk,
Mm-hmm.
nigga. You know what I'm
Yeah, I can't
saying?
help myself, man. I'm always the motherfucker that's always addressing shit. So I had to tell the motherfucker, I said, look, man, this shit you doing right here, it's not kosher. Like everybody is not laughing with you, they laughing at you right now.
Yeah.
It was tough love to give to the person. It kind of make the person feel embarrassed, but at the same time, they got it, man. And then they stopped. They stopped doing the shit. And I had half of them will come back to me and be like, you know what, man? I ain't like what you said in that moment. You know, it did piss me off, but I'm glad you told me that because it was starting to get to a point where other people was pointing it out. I said, well, somebody had to tell you. If other people ain't gonna tell you, I'm gonna be the one to fucking tell you. So I'm gonna tell you. Like, why you always shaking somebody's hand? That's not cool. Like you only
Always,
shake
bro.
somebody's hand if there's a moment. Like you guys shared a moment, something monumental fucking happened. We watching the game and we rooting for the same team, and Kobe hit a fucking three or some shit like that. Because I was a big Kobe Bryant fan, man. But that's when Kobe and Shaq. What? The time I was in service, boy, Kobe and Shaq was running roughshod. Man, Kobe do a dunk or Kobe throw an alley oop to Shaq. Some shit like that happen. Yeah, man, we gonna dap. But if ain't no shit like that happening, what the fuck we dapping for, man? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Like, and I used to be like, I should be like, damn, am I homophobic, bro? Like, nah, nigga. At the end of the day, niggas just ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, this could be my little brother. I'll still say something.
Yep.
Like, why is this bitch ass nigga dapping me up every 5 seconds? Niggas how to dap him. I'm talking these niggas want to dap all the time, and that's
All the
their
time.
thing in New York.
Yeah.
It either, and it's either they don't dap niggas at all. That's how you know they don't fuck with you, or they fuck with you, or they trying to fuck with you. They dap you up every fucking 5 seconds. I'm be like, bro, man, miss me with that shit, man. Or niggas from up north good for this too, man. Niggas, all niggas from up north good for this. Whether it be Philly, New York City, Jersey, you need to get drunk and want to talk you in your ear all night.
Oh hell yeah, man! I used to hate that shit. You
Nigga
know what
get
I used
drunk
to
and
do? I used
like,
to,
man, you was always the realest nigga, man.
yeah.
But just cause you from the shy, you ain't fuck with me, but I always fuck with you. I thought we all like, yeah, we was solid. Why you ain't never tell me we was solid? I thought it was gonna be go down. Like check it out, Joe. Like check it out, son. Blase, blase. If any niggas walk up to you right now, we gonna get at their head. But I was like, yo, shut up, man. Hold up. Like, you always on that calm shit. I'm from New York. I'm always on that rowdy shit. I'm like, all right, cool, man. This ain't that. Like, see, you not hearing me, son. Like, I'm really telling you,
Mhm.
like, nigga, I'm loyal from the soil. Blase, blase. Niggas start talking about, and it's like basically they sound like they rapping, but they talking.
And so they know. So they know I don't clown them. I tell a bartender, "Hey man, no more fucking drinks to this motherfucker." And I say it loud enough for them to hear, even though they sound stupid. Like, man, don't be saying that. No more fucking drinks for this motherfucker, man. No
Right.
more.
So I'm like, bro, I think me personally, when a nigga in that state, I kind of let them get off. Wanna know why? Because
Mm-hmm.
they, truth be told, if they was in their sober mind, they wouldn't be talking like that, man. These
Mm-mm.
niggas drunk as fuck, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of let them get off of shit because truth be told, sometimes a drunk mind speak a sober heart. So I'll be listening to see like
That's
sometimes
true.
niggas sometimes niggas slip out how they really feel about shit. I be listening to shit. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I get the eye wink from a bitch, like I've been trying like I'm ready. I'll be like, hey man, hey, check it out. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Mind you, they've been doing all the talking. It's been a
Yep.
pleasure talking to you. I'm about to slide, bro. Blah blah blah. I dip.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if I ain't doing shit, I just let them niggas get off of shit and just be quiet. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's still a certain level of power when niggas is pouring out their heart and you just being quiet and stoic. You
That
know what I'm
is
saying?
true. That is
You know
true.
what I mean?
And you know what's the funny part about it? When that shit used to happen, because I'm glad you saying that, Ross. That when that shit used to happen, I used to turn around and listen to the ones that really had like an issue. Because a lot of times when they're pouring, if they're not careful and they drinking too much, if they have an issue with you or they mad at you about some shit or they jealous, they start telling you all that shit. And you
Yeah,
like, and this is what I always say. Oh, really? And this is how you keep getting motherfuckers to talk. Interesting. Well,
yeah,
do tell.
right,
Continue. Continue.
right,
Keep talking. And then keep going, man. And that's how I be finding shit out. And then next thing you know, they slowly but surely, because you don't want to just cold turkey do it, they slowly but surely see you gradually stop fucking with them.
yeah,
Because I never cold turkey situations because then it raises a red flag. Because even the dumbest motherfucker could realize, damn, I was wasted that night. Did I say something I was supposed to? Even they gonna start thinking like that. So I
mm-hmm.
just gradually separate myself. God, oh, this is how this motherfucker felt about me. I ain't fucking with this motherfucker no more.
That's how you
And then
felt the
I'll
whole
just
time.
gradually do it. And you would never know because I gradually did that. I gradually slow crawled myself from out of that situation. And then it'll be something where, oh, I ain't seen you in a minute. I was like, yeah, man, I've been busy. Nah, I have been busy, but ain't really that's the reason with your ass. The reason
Ain't
with
been
your
that
ass is
busy.
you said what the fuck you said 3 weeks. And that's the thing with me and Ross. We got some sharp memory. We remember the day, the time you said that shit. You said that shit 3 weeks ago. At this time, this is what you said about me. And I ain't fucking with you no more because of that shit.
Yeah, real talk. But yeah,
But
man. Yeah, man. This right here, this been another one of those great lives, bro.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, but I'm
Yeah,
glad you said it. This was a hell of a lot. Man, I hope you guys, those that are young and those that are looking to get into the service, I hope you guys learn something. We guys we gave you guys some banter and some comedy and some jokes. This is the thing with me and Ross, man. We've lived life, so we've seen some shit. He did it for 20. I did it for no, I could say 8. I did this because I did do National Guard and shit like that. So I did it for 8. Even though I don't consider it full-time military, I could say I did 8. I
Right.
did 8. He did 20. So interesting, very fucking experience in of itself. And I could tell you this much, man. If this is something you guys want to do and something you guys want to get into, three great things that you guys are going to get from it. You're going to get a hellified education because they're going to pay for your education. There are some things principle wise that you learn that builds you up and makes you, more disciplined. There are some elements of the service that gives you that. And then the other thing is there's a lot of benefits and a lot of perks that you get after the fact. After your service, you can get your disabilities, um,
Mm-hmm.
your discounts. There's a lot of perks that come with being a service member. So these are the
Nope.
things to think about.
Exactly. So yeah, man, I said all I had to say about it.
Said all I had to say too, man. It was real. Y'all be easy. Peace.